Howdy do there. Welcome back to the coffee break. I am up and at 'em finally. It's around 11 o'clock and I figured it's time to get ready for another video vlog, taking a time out, chilling out, talking about different things. And I have to tell you, last night, well, over a period of at least a week or so, I've noticed I've gotten into the habit of like going to bed later. You know, this whole COVID thing and being home more often has led me to staying up later at night till after midnight sometimes. And I'm like not really the kind of person who needs to go to bed that late. But my mind is all wired up, so I'm thinking about things. And I found myself, even with the lights turned out and the TV off, and I'm just laying in bed getting ready to go to sleep or trying to, that I have thoughts going on. And some of them are creative thoughts and I have to write them down. So I grab my phone and I pull up the note maker and I make a note so I don't forget them. So that's what was going on last night. But I feel like as we're going into the holiday season, I want to do a couple of video vlogs about different holiday things that have come to mind. And the reason they came to mind is because I was watching TV last night and I turned on a channel that had classic Christmas shows on, like Here Comes Santa Claus and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman and the movie Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I said to myself, I'm going to just sit here and watch these old Christmas shows tonight because, you know, sometimes you have to tune into them when you spot them. You can try to plan them, but it doesn't always work out for me anyway. So I'm so happy to have caught a whole evening of Christmas holiday shows that are classics that you kind of tend to want to watch every year. There's a couple that have been on that I haven't watched yet because I figure they're going to replay them over and over and over and over and over again. Not kidding. And that would be like Polar Express and Elf. Shows like that. Whoops. Anyway, I wanted to talk about some holiday things from my childhood that I remember. And I was thinking about one of my earliest memories of Christmas would be in San Antonio, Texas. And we had put up the Christmas tree. And one of the traditions that my parents tried to instill or initiate was that I got to open up a package every Christmas Eve. Now, some people like to open up all their Christmas on Christmas Eve. Some like to wait till Christmas Day. And then some people like to just open up one special package on Christmas Eve and then do the rest on Christmas Day. It varies depending on your household and tradition, of course. I'm sure you have your own experiences, but that was what we were doing back then. And we didn't have a lot of tradition going on in my house or my family because, you know, my family was so broken up and scattered and, you know, dysfunction, that kind of thing crept in. So what started out as a nice little tradition didn't happen anymore after 1971 because my father went about his business and left us, and life changed. But in any case, one of my earliest memories of Christmas was Christmas Eve, and I would open up one package. And inevitably, that one package was my mom's idea of getting ready for Christmas Day and opening up the real Christmas packages. Because in that Christmas Eve package that I opened was always a set of pajamas. New pajamas to be worn on Christmas morning when I really got to open up the packages that I got for Christmas. And they wanted me to be wearing those pajamas so that they could have the photos that they wanted to take of me wearing those new pajamas for Christmas morning. It was a nice idea for a good tradition. I wished it probably would have continued, but it did not, unfortunately. But it's a good memory, and it's a good time to be remembering good Christmas memories, isn't it? So that's one. As life continued on, as I said, dysfunction crept into the family, and separation, divorce, that whole thing. And my father took off, and basically I never heard from him again, ever, even to this day. One time, actually, but that's another story. And all these years of growing up as a child and living my adult life, to only hear from your true father once says a whole lot. So there wasn't any Christmas memories from that point on with him. But because life changed so dramatically, my mother and I, we were on our own. So life was strange. It was challenging. It was, for me as a child, unknowing. I didn't know any better, so it was what it was. But I realized even then, and I super realize it now, is that we were so poor and we just didn't have a whole lot of anything. So holding on to any kind of family tradition just wasn't going to happen. But I remember one Christmas, we lived in a lot of trailer parks, as I told you, a lot of trailers and trailer parks. And you might have an opinion about people who live in trailer parks, but, you know, she was doing the best she could to take care of us. And I remember one specific Christmas, and this was also in Billings, Missouri, which I mentioned in a previous video. We lived in a very tiny trailer. I mean, it would be considered a tiny home by today's standards. I mean, it was so small. We had, my bedroom was on one end, and their bedroom was on another, and it was extremely cramped and crowded. You know, the traditional wood paneling that trailers had back then, nothing fancy. And then you came out of my bedroom into the open area, which was the living room, kitchen, and dining area all in one. And then the bathroom was after that, which was very small. We were poor, but that's what we could manage to stay in for a while. And even then, coming up with rent for that time period, which probably by today's standards was practically nothing, was tough. So life was tough. And one year, getting to the point of this new Christmas memory, I remember somehow my mom had gotten into a car accident right around Christmas holiday. So what happened as a result of that is that she came home with a broken leg. So she would be basically sitting in a chair in the kitchen with her leg up on another chair in a cast. So that was pretty much the idea of what Christmas was going to be about that year. But for some reason, my little childlike mind and faith in all things good and trying to make things better kicked in. And I remember going to someone, don't remember who it was at this point in time. I guess if I sat and thought about it for a length of time, I might remember. But I borrowed what must have been like, I don't know, $12, $15. I went and asked someone to give me that money so that I could, at school, for one of my classes, purchase a stuffed animal kit that you make on your own. You would hand sew and create a stuffed animal out of a kit that you bought, which was like I said, about $15. And I didn't have that money, of course. You know, I didn't make money back then. I couldn't ask anybody, and, you know, my mom, and, you know, maybe she had a boyfriend at the time and he wasn't doing much better financially to ask him for anything. So I had gone to someone and asked them. I managed to overcome my shyness enough to do that. And as I think about it, I should have been surprised, but they gave me the money. Excuse me. They gave me the money and I bought the stuffed animal kit. Now, it wasn't just any stuffed animal kit. This is why it was a special moment to not only make things better and to recognize my mother and making her feel good at Christmas time. I got a stuffed animal kit that allowed me to create and make 2 dachshunds, stuffed dachshunds, you know, the dogs. And the reason I chose the dachshunds is because we had a dachshund as a pet and she loved dachshunds. And that dachshund that we had was named Ebony. because she was black dachshund and little weenie dog. And that was the one pet I had as a child that I remember the most. And I remember when it died as well. Ebony, little girl dachshund. Anyway, I created these. I went and got this kit, and then at school and in hiding, I sewed and put them together and stuffed them and made these stuffed dachshunds, and I put them in a box so I could put them under this little tree that I had created that was sort of leaning up against the wall. Somehow I put a tree up and it had to lean against the wall. I didn't have any other way to really make it stand up on its own. But I created those dachshunds and created a Christmas for her and gave those to her for Christmas. And that was a really special memory for me of how I was able to celebrate and share Christmas with my family, my only family at that moment. So those are a couple of Christmas memories I have. I'm going to try to come up with a couple of extras to share with you as we, head into the Christmas holiday. And if you got some memories that you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments below. If you liked the video today, please give me a good thumbs up here. Big thumbs up. Not just a good one, but a big one. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and share the link to the video as you're so inclined, and come back and join me again, won't you? All right, until next time, have a good one. Thanks again. Bye-bye.